Hello, entrepreneurs. My name is Bimal Shah. I'm on a mission to make pioneers out of entrepreneurs by helping you achieve your 3 year goal in 1 year that's tied to your 25-year vision and 5 year moonshot. I do it through weekly sprints and 90-day leaps. This is the Pioneers Academy podcast, and I'm on a mission to make a million pioneers. And I thought this podcast channel will help you achieve your 3 year goal and jump to the next level. I'm going to be showing lots of training and lots of great episodes, so join on this podcast and get all the training and resources you need to achieve your 3 year goal in 1 year and make yourself a pioneer. I wrote 13 books, Becoming a Pioneer, and you can get all those 13 books on Amazon. We're going to give away to every listener who listens on this podcast a $100 Amazon gift card so you can get all the books and learn how to become a pioneer.
Designed to sound like a real conversation here, welcome to another episode of the Pioneers Academy podcast, where we bring you practical strategies to help entrepreneurs work smarter, grow faster, and build businesses that stand the test of time. I'm your host, April, and I'm so glad you're joining us today. Have you ever visited a website that looked beautiful but didn't actually help the business grow? Maybe it didn't answer your questions, capture your information, or even encourage you to take the next step. Today, we're talking about why your website should be much more than an online brochure. Our topic is AI Website Build, a strategy for next level growth. And joining us is entrepreneur, author, business strategist, and the founder of Rajpart Achievers LLC, Bimal Shah. Hi, Bimal. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me here in this today's technologically advanced age. We have to embrace AI, and this is a great topic. Would love to share, how this can be of value and how, we have provided this service to many to provide AI website build to entrepreneurs to take their website presence to the next level.
Exactly, Bimal. I think every one of us is living with AI most of the time now. So I'm so excited to start this. So without further ado, I'd like to ask Bimal, when people hear the phrase AI website build, many assumes it's simply about using AI to design a website. What does an AI powered website actually mean?
So the very first thing an AI website means that it is not just a website, but it's a lead gen system. So lead gen system means that when somebody comes to your website, today's age, people are interested in quick answers, instant answers, questions. They have a lot of things and they want to get instantaneous conversations. And if you see many of the websites that do have chatbots, those chatbots usually, either put you, let me think, let me wait, or they try to connect you to someone. And it's just, people lose interest and they move on and they hop off and they go somewhere else. But, a person, an agent, an AI agent on the website or a chatbot, whatever you want to call it, that engages with the person who's coming to the website and answers questions automatically with detailed answers and keeps the person engaged is the one that converts. So that is where the AI website build means that you have someone that comes to the website is they have quick, they can take them to the website. And the AI website build not just chats with the person, it actually takes them, hey, let me take you to this link, and it takes that web page to that link and immediately shows the person what they're conversing about, and the link and goes straight to that web page within what they're looking at, so they get immediate answers and they don't have to surf or waste time surfing. So that's a huge difference in converting traffic into prospects.
That's really interesting distinction, Bimal, because I myself also experienced that kind of service. I hate waiting and it's really a waste of time and it's frustrating. So I really like the idea and how you explain this to us. And instead of simply looking for a professional, the website will actually becomes part of the business, working around the clock to engage to those who visits the website, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you, Bimal. Now, many entrepreneurs already have a website. So, how can they tell whether it's helping their business or actually holding it back?
So, they have data that they can look. If they look at the Google data, once they look at their website, they can look at their traffic, they look at the conversion. If it doesn't convert well, then that's a problem. If it does not qualify leads, so because there's a lot of people that come, and many of the businesses face, one big fundamental problem is they get bad leads. It means that, this is not the ideal prospect or ideal customer that they would want, because but they're taking it because they don't have another choice, or they need the money, or they need that business. And because of that, their website is not doing. But what if there was an AI agent or AI website built that was designed in such a way that pre-qualifies the person, who's visiting, and ask a few questions? And so it's not just the person who's visiting who's asking questions. It's also AI who's asking the pre-qualification questions to make sure that the person is the right fit. And this can help pre-qualify and leads very effectively. And so, you get the right prospects that can convert, and less is more. Sometimes you don't need a lot more, but if you have the right ones, you can make a lot more money with those. And you can even, then direct your website to those lookalikes and those type of audiences in the future through your marketing, SEO, and other things, knowing the type of audiences, where they come from, and target effectively. So if you know that this person was a pre-qualified lead and he came from this source, he answered these questions, he was a pre-qualified lead, now you have a source of where to go, and what to target for the right leads. So that's what I mean by, and those are some of the biggest signs that people can see.
That's eye-opening, Bimal, because having a website and having a website that really performs are definitely two different things. Thank you so much for that. Now, one thing I hear often is that websites collects leads, but sometime or but someone still has to manually respond. How does AI change the process?
So so many a times, these agents, so you see that there is a big difference, on chatbots and chat agents and things that are put on. You can get it cheap. Now, cheap doesn't mean that it's good and you're getting it done. It could be a disaster because they only would respond to what's being fed, and they're not learning on its own, or they don't have industry knowledge, or they're not regenerative, or they don't have all the, because in today's AI world, you have regenerative AI, you have AI that can expand and learn so much, not just from your website, but about your industry, and you can develop such a comprehensive resource to answer almost any question, you know that they can answer, and then legally without going into it, then that's something that is very effective. And that's what something needs to be built. And there are, if you see that there are websites today where they have detailed answers immediately, they pinpoint to you to the right place, they take you to the right place, and if it doesn't work, they connect and this and say, okay, this, try that. And then you don't even have to speak to a person, if that is the kind of response that you're getting, and then you like that kind of AI. But if you get an AI and they consistently come up with the same fed response that you fed it, when there's not just an AI, it's just a text bot taking money, taking the text of what you gave earlier and just giving the same response, then you feel like, okay, this AI is not at all understanding me, and I don't want to, I hate AI. So that's where the hatred for, or there where the frustration for artificial intelligence comes from, because if it's not structured properly, people will not like it, and they will see that this is not effective and it's wasting my time. But on the contrary, there are some great things that have been built which have not been used by businesses. And cheap is not always the answer, because in quest for cheap AI agents, that's what you get.
I totally agree with that, Bimal. And in other words, it sounds like having another employee that will be working 24 hours a day, instead of like visitors or prospects waiting for someone to call them back, or like they're getting an immediate assistance because of this structured AI, right?
Yes. Absolutely. So what it is, it's a complete system. It's a complete structure. And because it's a complete structure, people get the complete overview and it's a complete engagement. It's not a disengagement. It's, the customer or the prospect who's engaging when they come to the website, they feel like, okay, this AI knows a lot more than a person I would speak to in person. And so it's more helpful and they get more attracted and more gravitated towards that AI. And they even prefer talking to that AI because they know all the answers and they're giving the answers to their questions. And they're even engaging in discussions like a normal, feel like this is like a normal human conversation. It's going back and forth. And that's what it needs to be. That's where it needs to be.
Thank you so much, Bimal. Now, suppose someone is listening today and doesn't know anything about AI, where should they begin?
So that's why we created the whole platform of the AI Navigator, because it's not just the AI. You should know where to navigate. And that's why we built this platform, the Ideal AI Navigator. So if you go to the link in the show notes below, the Ideal AI Navigator, we have built this platform to help you navigate and understand the world of AI. And we offer training, we offer resources. So whatever your budget is, whatever you're looking to do, you don't have to do X or Y. You can just learn and understand and train, and even train your people on how to use AI. There are a lot of AI resources that are free, but if you ask the right questions, the AI will respond properly. But if you ask AI is built to, if you ask a simple question, you'll get a simple answer. And then you may feel like, okay, this is not what I was looking for. So you need to be trained on how to use AI. And also we have other resources and lots of other things that we've built in this platform. So visit that platform and see, all the resources that we have made available.
That's so encouraging, Bimal, because sometimes entrepreneurs delays getting started because they think AI is too technical when they really just need the right guidance. Thank you for that. Now, many founders are worried about data security and compliance when they hear AI website. What governance or like safeguards do you recommend so their AI-enabled website remains secure, compliant, and aligned with their brand value?
So, there is always all these things that are built, and we have inbuilt cybersecurity and all those, available, so when we do build it, all those, compliance is done. And there is disclaimers and things that are at the bottom, you have standard website disclaimers and other disclaimers. And so and before they start, there's a start, hey, I'm an AI bot, there's a complete description and transparency, but I can assist you in almost everything that you need. And you provide a little bit of uh, detail, just bullet point introduction rather than just, hey, I am, how can I help you? Because sometimes, that short introduction about what can you expect, what are the outcomes that you can achieve by talking to an AI actually opens the door to more conversations rather than just, hey, I'm Linda, how can I help you? That's what you see, with a lot least, expensive, where you get it for a few $100, or a small amount of money where you get a chatbot. But the ones that are built properly, take a little bit more, but they do 100 times, 1,000 times better job, and bring a lot more revenue to the company.
That's an important reminder and a reassuring also for our business owners listening right now, Bimal. Because the goal isn't simply adopting AI, it's implementing also responsibly. Thank you. Now, Bimal, what books of your 13 book series highlight AI website, build, grants, and free money, and how can viewers access your books?
So we have lots of resources. The books are built like workbook. There's lots of questions. So, go through the book series. We are giving away $100 Amazon gift card. And we're addressing technology specifically in book number 6, where there's a complete list of all the technological resources, what they're meant for, what they're not meant for, what they do, what they don't do. and what's the purpose of it. So it's a great book to have, book number 6. And then in book number 8, 9, there's exemplified and more details on those. So check out those books, get the $100 Amazon gift card that's in the show notes below, and make yourself a pioneer. Hello, pioneers and entrepreneurs. My name is Bimal Shah. I'm on a mission to make pioneers out of entrepreneurs by helping you achieve your 3-year goal in 1 year that is tied to your 25-year vision and 5-year moonshot. I do it through 90-day leaps and weekly sprints and through my own proprietary 4-leap system. I've also written 13 books, the Becoming a Pioneer series. I've founded the Pioneers Academy, the Pioneers Platform, and several resources that help you on several different platforms: the Thrive platform, Transform platform, and Transcend platform. So these are resources and tools that I built for you to double your business in a year and scale exponentially and become the only one in your business.